are live here tonight with the Diehard Racing League's JMR American Hero Hunt Cup Series. Tonight we will be at Richmond International Raceway for 200 laps. Right now we are sitting here waiting for the qualifying to end here. Looking at the times here, looks like we have the 99 of Eric Mickey locking down the pole here. But we'll go ahead and wait for the official gridding order, but looking at some of the times here, the fastest lap does appear that it's going to be a 29:16 for the pole. Looking at the weather, it's a nice 76 degrees out. I wish that was true to the case because it's actually a little bit colder than that here. Humidity, probably about right for what we got here. Now we see the driver starting to grid, so that's going to bring us to tonight's starting lineup. On pole, we have the 77 of Seth Schultz. Starting to his outs. Yeah, this is all. IRTV has got this thing all messed up here. Let's refresh this thing here. There we go. Technology is never our friend. Starting on the pole, as we see right there, and a nice new paint job. I didn't notice that. The 99 of Eric Mickey with a 29:16 starting to his outside. The 75 of Robert Barris. Rolling off third will be the 21 of Jason DeVries. The 77 of Seth Schultz will start from fourth. Rolling off fifth, we have Reese Spence Robb, a new member here to the league, so we'll see how good he can do tonight in that 27 machine. Rolling off sixth will be the 16 of Elliott Butler. Seventh goes to the 20 of Brian Den. Andrew Hill in the 66 will roll off eighth. Caleb Finn in the 95 will start ninth. The 44 of Aaron Corey is going to round out the top 10. 96 of Josh Gallagher will roll off from 11th. The 76 of Joshua Jones will start 12th. The 28 of Evan Winsky will be our 13th place starter tonight. The 97 of Ryan Nolan rolls off from 14th. Christian DeBoer in the 56 will start from the 15th position. And that, I do believe, I see some other drivers in here, but with it having the grid messed up, we'll just look a little further back. As we hear him clunk into gear here.
Green flag. Have a great day. Have fun.
All right, there we go. I think we finally got some of the audio gremlins worked out there. Now we're looking at what might potentially be a battle for the lead here between the 75 of Robert Barris and the 99 of Eric Mickey. Now that's definitely a different paint scheme that we're not used to seeing that 99 running, but it's definitely an interesting one. I like it. It's bright, it's in your face. It's exactly the type of paint scheme I like running. Robert's looking a little bit low there as they were coming off the turn 2. He's going to look to the inside here as they come into turn 3. Robert will get the spot as he's able to clear the 99 there coming off the turn 4. So that will hand the race lead over to the 75 of Robert Barris. You see the 77 of Seth Schultz dropping in below as well. So that will shuffle the 99 back to 3rd. As we look a little bit further back, we see the 21 of Jason DeVries right now in 4th position. Not really anything happening so far on the track. Everybody's nice and spread out and organized where you guys can see there's not really that much rubber on the track, so it's pretty much going to dictate a lot of single groove racing here. And as long as these guys keep the cars pretty much under relative control here, we probably will not end up seeing a caution, since there really won't be that much too wide racing. I think what we're going to see is a lot of what we always preach, giving instead of taking. We're going to see a lot of drivers giving a lot of position right now. And it does appear though that we did get the car that went around. 97 there of Ryan Nolan. Let's back up and see. It didn't bring a caution out, but let's go ahead and take a look, see what happened here. Oh, we can see his connection there wasn't really that stable as he's blinking in and out there. There, he's starting to blink again there out of 3 and 4. Wondering if this might be the cause of that, or if he just might have got a little tight and then turned to the inside wall. So we backed it up, and it was good that we backed it up to the point that we did, so that we could see that he was already experiencing some connectivity issues. Oh, we see right there on the front stretch, he's saving it down there. He's mowing the yard there on the front, and that's where he gets that left front damage from. But great job keeping the car down there and not bringing out the caution flag, as right now he's being scored in 17th position. We have 2 drivers that failed to start the race, the 22 of Joshua Stewart and the 7 of Paul Williams. Meanwhile, as we look back at the front 3, we'll take a look back here. This is the battle for, well, was the battle as we see right now. Josh Jones still to the inside of the 28 of Adam Nowinski here as they head off into turn 3. This is for 11th position here. Almost a little contact there as we saw the 76 come up a little bit off of the corner, but he's able to keep it off the car. Adam's going to give him the spot. So that will move the 76 up to 11th and the 28 back to 12th. I know, Mike, I know you said it the best. Good thing we're having these slight issues happening at Richmond. There always seems to be something goes wrong at Richmond, and this is right on par for the course.
Yeah, Richmond's a strange track. Some guys love it, some guys hate it. I think that's why our turnout's a little low tonight. Is a lot of guys really just don't like Richmond. It's a tough track to drive. 1 and 2 is a tricky set of corners there, but these guys seem to be handling it pretty well. It looks like they are fighting a little bit loose off, a little tight in, but the guys that put in the practice time, they're up in the front, and that's why they're up in the front.
Well, this kind of is, as we see a little bit of a bobble there of the 77. This is what we were talking about before the race started, before we came on air. Tires always play a role on the cars here, but never as much as when we're at a short track. We saw last week with Bristol how important the tires were and the fall up that there was, but this time with Richmond being as wide as it is, the significantly lower banking here, you're going to have a tendency that if you might get a little complacent over time, you start overdriving your car, and the more you overdrive into the corner, the more the car is going to push. You're going to have to let off, and then sometimes you just, no matter how many laps you put in, how many times you brand this track, sometimes the most basic principles will escape you, and it will immediately try to get back to the throttle, which take you from a loose or tight condition over to a loose, as it does appear that despite the bobble that we saw a few laps back with the 77, it's not hurting that Ford Fusion at all, as he's going to try and take a look to the inside here, as we see the 75 Robert shutting the door on set there as they went into 3. We see Sexton get right up there on the back bumper. Right now he's just putting the pressure on that 75 machine. Let's see if he can stay up there long enough, and maybe, since this is a short track racing, maybe we might see a little bit of that horn come out. But I know all 3 of these drivers here, unless, I think it would take an extreme act for any of these guys here to do it, unless it's unintentional. So we saw it right there, the 77 having to back off. I think what it is Seth has got a line that he wants to run, and Robert's committed to running a different line. So Robert's got a different braking zone, as now we see Seth is going to come under fire by the 99 of Eric Mickey. But we all know that coming off of turn 4 here at Richmond, the outside is going to have the advantage because you can carry the momentum and the speed, and Eric will back off for the time being, and we're going to see Seth try and make another stab at it against the 75. Behind that we have the 21 of Jason DeBreeze and 16 of Elliott Butler. We see once again a little bit of wiggle there out of the 77. One thing that still never ceases to amaze me is when we're at short tracks, I forget just how fast the laps start clicking by. We are already 30 laps in. I know it says 31, but you have to count that extra lap. So technically, if it's a 100 lap race, you're actually going to race till it says 101 in sim. So these drivers here are now working lap 31. The lap count is always going to be one behind. Now, another thing about short track racing, and it goes hand in hand, is we're going to start seeing lap traffic. We saw it at Martinsville, we saw it at Bristol. Here it's going to be a little bit easier to deal with, once again, because Richmond is a lot wider. It's not a 3-story building of banking like Bristol is, but if that car can't get out of the way, as we see a dive bomb by the 77, He was able to get down there, but he had to check up, otherwise he would have checked out with the 75 there. I think that right there was the last warning shot fired there by the 77. He wants by that 75. But getting back to what we were saying, lap traffic is going to be something that's going to come into a factor here. If they can get out of the way, it'll be fine. But if they mistime it, we might see a little snafu go on. But the first one that we were going to see being a victim will be the 56 of Christian DeBoer. As we see the 23 of Corey Brown, he has taken that machine behind the wall. So we have 3 retirees out of the race, 16 cars remaining in the field.
Yeah, I've been watching the front 2 guys for a couple laps here, and the 77 really gets back on that throttle quickly from 75 with Robert Harris. So it's almost like Seth knows if he can get by him, he can check out a little bit.
And we also saw there, as that was happening, we saw the 56 down there on the apron letting the field by. I don't know if he was coming down pit road, but he was definitely down there on the apron. So and he is actually going to be on pit road. So the 56 going down on lap 36 here. And while we're in this, I don't want to jinx it. I don't. Oh, that's right there. We saw the chrome horn in play.
Quickly tell me about your car if you can.
You guys saw it live right there, but we're going to back it up. We're going to go on board here with the 77 of Seth Schultz. This is what's going to bring up the caution. He makes contact with the 75. So, like I said, the warning shot was fired, and apparently the message was not received. Let's also do another reverse view here. We're going to do it from the rear TV panel of the 75. Better yet, let's watch it from rear chase. Now, I was only joking when I said that the chrome horn was going to come out, but apparently it did finally. And there it is, right there. So we see a little bit of a sidestep there by the 99 as well. Now, that car breaking the plane that it did was enough to bring out the caution flag, even though no cars did go around. That was enough to bring the caution out. So we are working our first caution of the night here. We're going to go ahead and cut to a quick sponsor break, and we will return with the action here at Richmond International Raceway. All right, we are back, and pit stops have already taken place, and surprise, surprise, the 75 of Robert Barris is still out front. And I believe, I think we have our first rivalry of the night going on now. We got Chevy versus Ford here, and I do believe we're going to see the lights on the pace car go out this time by, so we'll get the field doubled back up as they are going to do so. So restarting with the race lead will be the 75 of Robert Barris, the 77 of Seth Schultz to his outside, the 16 of Elliott Butler third, the 99 of Eric Mickey fourth, Andrew Hill in the 66 fifth, the 20 of Brian Dent sixth, Reese Spence Robb in the 27 7th, Josh Gallagher in the 96 8th, the 76 of Joshua Jones 9th, and the 28 of Adam Nowinski is going to round out the top 10 here.
Now, you got to wonder, will Robert remember that later in the race?
Well, we all know that Robert is the master statistician here, so I think he's going to calculate and time this restart just right. As we see Seth getting a little bit of jump there, and then Robert getting the actual jump. The green flag is back out. We are back underway here. I think Robert timed that perfectly. He knew it didn't matter whether he was going to be in the top groove or the bottom, that he needed to time the restart perfectly, and he got the jump he needed. As we see, there are going to be 3 wide here going into turn 3. The 99, the 16, and the 77. I'm starting to wonder if some of these guys. Oh, as we see contact between the 16, the 77, the 27, and the 99. Big jump. That's going to bring out our second caution. So we see the entire front clip missing off of that 27 machine. We also saw the 77 of Seth Schultz involved. The 16 of Elliott Butler involved. Several cars. Also the 66, I believe, of Andrew Hill was involved in that one as well. We just had a gigantic pile up there, so we're gonna look. Let's start with the. We're gonna start with the 16. All right, there's the contact between him and the 99. Trying to save it, he collects the 77 as well as the 27 and a few other drivers. You see the 96 of Josh Gallagher involved as well, the 99 of Eric Mickey. Let's go ahead and go on board with another view here. Wow, several cars with that front flips here. I think the most ironic thing is the 99, the 66, and the 77, all same digit cars. They're all missing front flips here. Now this is back where they were 3 wide here. Now keep your eyes on the 16 machine on the outside. This is where the initial contact is going to be. He gets a little loose, taps the 99, and as he's trying to save it, he gets the 77. 66 and the 27 had absolutely nowhere to go, as well as the 96 of Josh Gallagher. So we can see no front flip there on that 99 machine, so he's going to take that one down pit road. I think the one that fared the worst out of that, though, would be the 77.
Yeah, and Seth was fast tonight, so that's a tough break for the 77, Cam.
Well, I think Robert might be silently laughing now at that one after the first caution being brought out with just slight contact between him and the 77. Now knowing that the 77 most likely is done for the evening, he might be getting a little bit of Montezuma's revenge laughter going on in the cockpit. I don't know. Let's go to the in-car and see if we can hear anything. Nope, it's silent. So we are working our second caution here of the race. We are 49 laps in out of the scheduled 200 tonight. If you're just joining us live from the iRacing portal, this is the Diehard Racing League's JMR Outdoor American Hero Hunt Cup Series, where tonight we're live at Richmond International. Next week will be the week that everybody's going to want to tune in for, as on iRacing we go back to another plate track. The official series, everything is going to be running. I don't know if I'm even going to have a body left after the week is over. I'm going to be running so many official races because we are going to Talladega, where next week we will also be going live here on Sunday night. They'll be taking on Talladega Super Speedway. It's going to be an interesting race for sure. But meanwhile, the pace car lights are out. They're doubled back up. We see once again the 75 of Robert Barris opting for the inside line. He's got the 20 of Brian Denton who's outside. The jump already. Green flag is out. We're back underway. See, this is another thing that I love about these short tracks. The cautions are very quick. Even if you've got lap cars pitting, it's still a very quick caution. But yeah, I think while we were looking at all those different replays, Mike, you kind of hit on something that was really, really important. We had one of probably the top 3 fastest in the field involved in that right there, as well as several other vehicles. We see the 97 there. He gets a piece of the outside wall there, but he's able to keep it off there. But we are seeing the same thing that we've seen so far at every short track. At Bristol, we saw it, not to this extent already, but we saw it at Bristol, we saw it at Martinsville. We're starting to see a lot of cars with damage. And we've got a battle right now going on between the 76 of Joshua Jones and the 28 of Adam Nowinski. That's going to be for second spot. Directly behind him, the 21 of Jason DeVries, he's going to go in as well. And it looks like the 20 of Brian Denton is going to try and stick a bumper down in there and see if he can take another spot away from the 28. They come off the corner. Brian's going to have the position at the line, but he still has to clear that 28, and he will now do so. Now Adam can drop back in, but not after losing 3 spots. As we're looking right here at the battle now, we can see we've got the 16 of Elliott Butler and the 44 of Aaron Corey. They were side by side. And news off of pit road here, the 99 of Eric Mickey, they have taken that machine behind the wall. They are done for the night. So there's one of our, well, actually our only repeat winner this season. He is going to be out of it. But with us going to Talladega next week, it's probably better just to hop on the hauler instead of wait the half an hour to get the motor fixed. As we're already over a quarter of the way into this race here, it'd probably be about halfway done by the time you get back out there. Out front, Robert Barris in the 75 with a 2.2 second gap over second place to 21 of Jason DeVries. Now we've seen Robert struggle lately in the last few weeks here. He has not been able to secure a W yet, but right now things looking in his favor, as we're going to go back and check right now. Let's see. We can see the 77 of Seth Schultz still sitting on pit road, undoubtedly with a blown motor, so he's going to be sitting there for quite some time. He's being scored 13 laps down at the moment, and that number will only go up. Let's go ahead and pull the drop down up here. I want to see what these guys are running into the corner here. Right around 140 miles an hour. Right down to about 100 miles an hour. Almost 150 there on the front stretch. Right now looking at the 28, he started 13th tonight. He's currently sitting in 5th position, hasn't led any laps yet. His fastest lap was a 21.490, last time by was a 21.861, and now it'll update to an 8.58. Take a look here at the 20 of Brian Den tonight. He started 7th. He's currently sitting in 4th. His fast lap was a 21.337. Last time by, he just ran a 21.907. We're going to look a little bit further up. We're going to go car by car here. 76, Joshua Jones started 12th tonight. He's up to 3rd, so that right there is probably going to be the biggest mover so far of the race. His fast lap was a 21.445. Last time by was a 21.913, but that'll get updated right here in a few seconds. That last time by, he ran a 21.898. And we do see that the 77 of Seth Schultz is back out on track. Right now he is being scored 20 laps down. But we can see that 77 Ford Fusion, well, actually I don't know, I'd call that a Focus right now because it's missing that whole nose piece there. But good to see it back on track and somewhat up to power as he's going to try and race this one out for position here and just make it a points night, which is what a lot of these guys have to do now. The 99 of Eric Mickey, with him being Diehard's only repeat winner, he has a little bit of a cushion that he can play around with, and that's how he was able to opt and take the decision to park it for the night and load up and just head off for the shop. Whereas the 77, he's going to stay out on track and try and maximize on points tonight, which different strategies. See how they play out here. Is we've only got 2 cautions so far tonight, but the second one involving at least 5 to 6 cars. I think we've seen everything kind of settled down here as we've got yet another retiree of the race, the 97 of Ryan Nolan. He's going to be out of this one as well, so we'll be down to 14 cars in the race here. Right now, the 77 of Seth Schultz has to make 4 laps on the 97, and then he will inherit the 14th position. We're going to do a lot of onboard racing here. We can see the damage here now. We're riding on board with the 16 of Elliott Butler. This is where the initial contact was made that brought out the caution for the big one that we had so far. And it wasn't anything that was like a dumb move or anything. He just got loose off the corner, and the 99 was to his inside. And when that car snaps loose to the left, there's not a whole lot that you could really do. And it was just unfortunate for the 99 of Eric Mickey that he was in the wrong place at exactly the right time. As the 16 got loose into him, it turned the 99 up the track. And then in the process, the 16 trying to save it down the track, he collected the 77, as well as the 66 and the 96. And we have another retiree as well out of the race now, the 66, who we just mentioned was involved in that wreck. He has also brought that machine behind the wall. So that'll leave 13 cars remaining in the field out of the original 19 that started. So this is kind of like what we saw last night at Monza. This is going to be a battle of attrition here. So all this little bit damage that we're seeing here on the left front, that was from that last caution there. And looking at the gap right now, you see that Robert's got right around a 2.3 second lead over the 21 of Jason DeBreeze. We see a little bit of counter steer there out of the 16 that time. But let's go up and ride a few laps inside the 21 car. Noticed that he was doing something a little bit different than the other drivers, so I want to see if this is going to make it one of those things that stand out. As we see him, he's apexing the corner right there in 1 and 2. You can see he's not riding that yellow like everybody else is. He's diamonding the corners. You see a little bit of counter steer there out of him. Now, I think the interesting thing to note is Jason right now is catching Robert by about a 1/10 of a second per lap right now at this pace right here. So I think Jason has stumbled on the magic line here at Richmond right now.
Well, with Jason, he's not the best short run driver we have here, but he is probably undoubtedly one of the best long run drivers. And you know he's saving his stuff, and he's going to make his charge up to the front.
No, I definitely can't argue with that one right there. Jason definitely knows how to have a car dialed in for the long-term run, and he actually prefers the longer runs over the short ones because that's when you really can weed out who's used up their tires quicker and who's better on the longer run, or who's going to be the one that's going to be slower as the laps continue to progress, as we have been green flagged for roughly around 30 laps now. That may not seem like a lot of time, but with these tires and the way that we've seen different lines being driven right now, I think what we're seeing out of the 21 camp is we're seeing the same consistent line being run, but as you can see, as the cars behind them, they're jumping right down to that yellow. And it looks like the 77 of Seth Schultz, the motor has detonated on that machine. So you see he's going to try and make it all the way around the pit road here. He was trying to get, he needed 3 more laps to get around the 66 of Andrew Hill for 13th position. Now, if he does opt to stay in the race, this will be probably at least a 38-minute fix for the 77 if he can make it all the way down there. And I know he'll probably take a speeding penalty just to get to his pit stall. This should be right around a 35 to 40-minute repair for this Ford Fusion to get back out on the track. But all he really needs is to get a couple laps back in, and he'll inherit 13th position. Well, as we take a look out front, we're going to look behind. We're looking off of the TV panel of our current race leader. You can see the 21 getting closer and closer as the laps are starting to click off here as we're approaching halfway here soon. It'll be 86 laps complete this time by. Meanwhile, there's something else that we need to focus our attention to here. The 76 of Joshua Jones running the series sponsor car, the JMR Outdoors American Hero Hunt Chevy SS. He is caught up to the 21 of Jason DeBreeze. As we can see, There is a little bit of damage there to the left rear of that 21 machine. You can see the gusset to the rear bumper sticking out. And just a little bit of a tweak on the spoiler there, but anybody who knows short track racing knows that aero is not important here, and where Jason's got it, it's not going to affect the car whatsoever. As we see the 16 of Elliott Butler get a little piece of the wall there that time by coming out of turn 2. We pan our cameras out just a little bit further here. See, Jason's still running the same line that he was before. Now it's going to be interesting to see if the 76 and the 16 can pick up on this. If they're going to start running the same line as well. See the 16 opting that time to go a little bit low there. The 76, I think right now, he's riding right behind the 21's tracks, with the exception of turn 3 there. He's a little bit higher, but I think that might have been a little bit of a play call by Jason, varying the lineup just a little bit, to maybe kind of try and throw him off. We see once again though the 16 of Elliott Butler to the inside of the 76. He had the momentum there in the corner. He's going to try here again to 3 and 4, but I don't think he's going to have enough, and he's not this time by, but he's still looking to the inside. So he might try to make another run at it through 1 and 2 here. They're still going to be side by side as they end the turns here. I think after that attempt, yep, I would do the same exact thing. I'd back up behind the 76 again, gather it up and try and maybe make a run a little bit later. But we're going to see once again the 16 is going to drop low again. He's going to try to make that inside line work. Meanwhile, while this is happening, it just appears that the 21 is going to start walking away with it, because anytime two cars start battling, that allows a single driver to focus just ahead of him instead of behind him. We all know Jason's one to not really focus on what's behind him. Is now finally, I think that was on the 76 part, finally just letting the 16 go, because he was tired of being to the inside there through the corner. Smart move there by the 76 Josh Jones. That will move him back to 4th position, as the gap has now shrunk down to 1.5 seconds between 1st and 2nd. We can see there, last car in the frame, that is the 20 of Brian Den being scored in 5th position right now. Go back in cockpit here for a few laps and see if Jason is still running that same line as we see. It looks like there's a little bit of bobble there off of the 75. Gap is continuing to shrink. It's down to 1.3 now.
We all know Robert's really cool under pressure, but you got to look at your timing screen and wonder, you know, hey, what's Jason doing? Because he reeled him in almost 8/10 over the past couple laps.
And I think the most interesting thing to note, I saw it while we were riding in there, because I was watching the side mirror. All of a sudden, Jason's side mirror was full of Samsung Galaxy. The hood of the 16 was there. As we see, the 16 of Elliott Butler is still trying to march up further forward, as we see the 76 is falling off a little bit there. The 16 though still hard pressing it through the corners here, as he's caught back up to the 21. Meanwhile, the gap now between 1st and 2nd is down to a 1.1 second. As we are now officially halfway through the race here. We are 100 laps in out of the scheduled 200. So you see, about the only driver that's been able to do it so far tonight. As we see there, the big correction there that the 16 of Elliott Butler had to do to keep that car straight. That's going to cost all the time and the track space that he had driven up on the 21. As this time by, it should be right around, yep, just under a second now behind the current race leader, the 75 of Robert Barris. Now as we look, another nice feature that iRacing had that a lot of people didn't know about, and I kind of laughed when some of the guys that I race with all the time are like, hey, we have this? Yeah, we've had it for a long time. These cars have rotor glow, so as these drivers are getting on the brakes, especially with this being a night track here, you'll see those rotors start lighting up in the corners the harder they input on the brake. Well, it doesn't appear that the, despite side sliding the tires a little bit, that the 16 really has lost too much as he's reeled the 21 back in again. As we see that Jason is still chasing down Robert here for the lead. Go on board here for a couple laps. You see already on the front stretch, he's already got a little bit of right side steering going in. He's now going to challenge to the inside. Now we can see a good shot of exactly the extent of the damage on the 21. Not quite sure how he picked up that little bit of left rear damage, but once again, luckily with this being a short track, aero does not hurt the cars whatsoever. Now, I'm not an expert, but Mike, riding on board here, this looks a lot like us with the Dirt Legends cars.
Yeah, they're definitely loose coming off. For the 16, he's just really loose, but he's been driving it really hard from that last wreck, and he's working his way back up to the front. He's sitting in third place, so hey, keep sliding that thing. It's working. Obviously,
he's doing something right. Loose is fast. That's what we always say on dirt, and apparently it's translating over to oval tonight. As I'm just watching that steering wheel go right to left, right to left, right to left. And all while this is happening, I think the biggest thing that we need to note out is that the gap between first and second has now been brought down to half a second. What was once almost a 3-second lead has been whittled down to now a 4/10-second gap.
Yeah, right now you kind of gotta wonder, 75 running it as hard as he can, or is he trying different things to try to pick up some speed? That lap we saw him run the same line that Jason was running, so let's see how that works for him.
Oh, not bad. Kind of good top one car, I believe, but time will tell. Well, I'm going to say that really quick. One better is just picking with Robert on that longer run. And before I left the track there, I'm waiting for him to put in the motor so I can get at least one more lap and get one more spot. he lifted at the same time going the corner, and I expected him to get out a little bit sooner than he did. I barely touched him. I didn't mean to get into him. Glad he saved it. But at the same time, I mean, I was way quicker than him getting out, get to the corner and regret him at that moment. But it is what it is, and we'll come back for Talladega next week.
And while we were talking there, the 21 wasted no time getting around the 75, and now the 75 is going to be under fire by the 16 of Elliott Butler here.
Yeah, I noticed running Robert on the long run, his front tires, or maybe his all his tires, got to run away. Elliott's going to keep his quick practice, and there you see him going into the inside.
I think what might be helping that car a little bit is I can see the rear end damage on there. It's kind of curled in, so he might have a little bit of a weight reduction there, so it might be a little bit faster.
Yeah, I hear there. Jason got that left rear damage in that big wreck that I was involved in. I see him up there rolling, and he had the damage then. So he either got it in that or he got it previously.
Well, now that Jason's out front, he's already opened it up to a half-second gap as once again we're seeing some sidestepping out of the 16 machine. He has made his way around Robert, so that'll put him back to third spot. Now, this is going to bring in the next thing. As long as we stay caution-free, what and when are these drivers going to start doing their green flag pit stops here? Because we know that if they pit now, they're easily going to be able to make it on fuel. It's going to be the sacrifice of track position and tires.
Yeah, the 44 Aaron Corey just came on pit road. He's getting full stop in, and he should be good to go for the rest of the way. It's going to be interesting to see when these other guys do come in, like you said. So, you know, I'm guessing probably in the next 15 to 20 laps.
Well, we've got the master strategist on pit road. The 75 has made his way on, so that's third position peeled off. So I do believe we might see our green flag window open now.
I think it's too soon, personally. I think I'd have waited another 20 laps.
As we go back up here to the front of the field, we see the 16. This is the picture we've been seeing all night, the 16 behind the 21. Either backing off after sliding out of the corner and then recharging the run here as he's continuing to put pressure. Sitting in second spot right now as we do a quick run through here. The top 10 out front is the 21 of Jason DeVries, the 16 of Elliott Butler second, Brian Denton in the 23rd. New to the league here, Reese Spence Robb in the 27 in fourth, the 95 of Caleb Finn fifth, Josh Gallagher in the 96 sixth, the 75 of Robert Barris seventh, Joshua Jones in the 76 eighth, the 28 of Adam Lewinsky 9th, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 6 of Rodney Kramer.
Yeah, and Joshua Jones, Adam Lewinsky, and Rodney Kramer, all three just pitted, took 4 good years, and down and away.
As we see now, Elliott is putting the screws to Jason, and then we see the 44 of Aaron Corey, who is on fresh tires. He has caught the front 2 cars here.
Yep, Caleb Finn just hit pit road 2.
This right here, we're going to see the difference between new and old tires. As Jason's going to move to the inside, Jason is going to be coming down pit road. So it looked like that. There we go. Yep, he is coming down. So leader pit road, as well as the 96 of Josh Gallagher. So that will give the race lead over to the 16 of Elliott Butler.
Yep, Brian Den just came on as well.
You take a look there at the 6 of Rodney Kramer being scored in 10th position right now, down 2 laps. In the event that caution were to come out right now, the 75 of Robert Barris would be the iRacing lucky dog. As right now we do have a leader pit road, the 16 of Elliott Butler making his way down for his scheduled green flag stop.
Well, I could be lying, but I know Jason got on pit road real fast and maintained pit road speed at the entry. I don't know, but he got on really, really good.
Now looking at his pit time, it does not appear that he got a penalty. I'm seeing a 14.7, so that's a 4 in fuel, no penalty. So great job by the 21 getting it down and load up enough to not get that 15-second hold.
And Reese is on pit road in the number 27.
Meanwhile, out front, once again, it will be the 75 of Robert Barris inheriting the lead.
It's going to come down to if he can manage his tires better than he has previously in the race. He's a really good racer, and if I'm sure he's figured out that he's got to save better than what he has been. So if he can do that, he should be able to hang on to it. Seeing as these guys pretty shortly after he did. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Right now is probably about one of the hardest times, especially when using any cameras, is finding the most important battle on the track. And right now it looks like it's not even for position. Between the 76 and the 27. We saw the 27 had been involved in that accident earlier with nowhere to go when the 16 got loose off of turn 2 there, collected the 99 and yourself, and then I believe the 27, the 66, and the 96, it just was a logjam effect down there going into, I believe it was in the turn 3 off of the backstretch.
Right. Yeah, I thought I had it cleared, but such it is. No big deal.
Well, that's definitely a good sign, though, for the first race for the league here, with as much damage as that 27 machine has. For him to still be out on track, that's exactly what we tried to have all our drivers do, although a lot of them tonight have chosen to take it to the hauler. It's good to see the dedication in some of the drivers, especially the 27 there, as normally if my car looked like that, I'd have already parked it.
Yeah, I went back out. I wouldn't have been so much power when I blew up first, but I missed it one lap and I gained it 1 position. So if the car should be fixed here in the next 5-10 minutes, and hopefully I can get out, at least get around track one more time, get 1 more position, and then I'll be done. So and I'll jump back up here if you don't mind.
Feel free to, if you can get back out there. Hopefully they'll get that motor thrown back in that car fast and you can get that lap and the position there.
Yeah, 10-4. I did notice Jason's running, was running a 10th quicker than Robert till that last lap, so I don't know if Jason was maybe pushing harder, Robert was just saving it, or
I think what we've been seeing is it's just 2 different lines being run here. Jason's been running pretty much the same line the entire race, and it's a little bit altered from Robert's. Jason's been dominating the corners, whereas Robert's has been running down there on the yellow line like it owes him money.
I did notice at the end of the green flag run, and I don't know if you saw it in the broadcast, but the high side came in, especially if we were trying to pass the car. So, I mean, I'd look for the high side to be key factor at the end of this thing if Jason can catch Robert.
Well, we've got roughly around 60 some odd laps for these guys to do so. A lot of time left here, even though the laps do click off fast here at Richmond. We are 137 laps into the 200 scheduled tonight, and while we are under our green flag, we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break and return with the action here at Richmond International Raceway. As we return, we are still under green flag conditions here. If you're just now tuning in on the iRacing portal, welcome. Tonight we are broadcasting the Diehard Racing League's JMR Outdoors American Hero Hunt Cup Series. We are 141 laps in out of the 200 scheduled tonight here. You see the time gap between first and second right now. It's right around 1.8, now 1.7 seconds between the 75 of Robert Barris and the 76 of Joshua Jones. We're going to go ahead and go up here and ride a few laps on board with the 75 and see what he is doing to keep those Goodyear Eagles not angry at him.
Yeah, Elliott's running 2/10 faster than anybody right now. So he may be running too hard and burning his stuff up. Hope not.
You can see they're up 4, very light in the throttle. Let's see what he does here in turn 1. Okay, so judging by that so far, let's see how he enters turn 3 this time, if he does the same thing he did the last time. It does appear he's altered his line a little bit. He's shifted it half a lane up. And just like Jason earlier now, although that time he was in the red line a little bit longer than normal. Usually we've seen with most of the cars, they'll sit and just barely get into the red line and then right back out of it. The only time we see that's on the front because it's a curved front stretch. But we see that the top line is definitely starting to come in as now everybody that's been on the bottom the entire race is kind of shifting at least a half a lane up.
Yep, and Brian Denton just passed Adam Williamson for 5th.
We look back here at 4th and 5th. We haven't ridden inside the Tide Pod machine in a while, so we're going to go ahead and take a couple laps behind the wheel with Adam and see how he is coping with the track tonight.
And Elliott is almost to Jason. I'm sorry, Elliott Butler is almost at the 21 Jason. I'll give him something to laugh on. Is it DeVry or DeVries?
DeVries.
I had it just for him.
Well, we'll make sure if you stick it out for interviews that you get to talk to DeVries, DeVries, DeVries. Just call them French fries.
Yeah, Elliott's really closing in the gap on him. I think the big thing is Jason's saving a lot right now, but you know, could be wrong.
We saw a little bit of a bobble there out of the 20 there that time out of turn 3 as we're still riding on board the very, very brightly colored roll bar machine of Adam Nowinski here.
And Christian DeBoer just came off pit road.
As we look at the 16 of Elliott Butler's, once again, the familiar scene we've seen all night here. The 16 behind the 21. So we see the 56 looks like he's going to be coming back down pit road again as he was down there low on the apron. In front of them the heavily damaged 27 machine. These guys will obviously easily get around.
Yeah, they shouldn't have any problem.
The one thing I want to do is I want to ride on board with 27. I want to see just how bad. Actually, no. Hold on. Looks like Elliott's trying to mount a little bit of pressure here to the back of the 21 as it looked like he was going to dive to the inside. Jason shutting the door on him there.
Yeah, Elliott's pretty quick, so it'd be interesting to see what really happens here. If Jason just lets him go or if he tries to hold him off.
Once again, we're seeing the 16 low and fast into the corners here, but we saw last time that brought on in the latter stage of the run a lot of side sliding. I think what he's doing is he's seeing the 27 here, and he's going to try maybe to use the 27 as a pick, but Jason's a lot smarter than that, and would probably see that one coming. But we don't know until we get to it, and right now they're about to get up to the 27 car here, so it should be maybe a lap or two, as now we see Jason and Brian, or Elliott, are both going to jump to the inside and both clear the 27 off the 2.
Yeah, that's nice to see, you know, the 27 Reese being a new guy and giving way to the leaders.
Alright, so now we are riding on board with the 27. You see just exactly how much damage there is to that red, white, and blue lows. I think it's more black and blue right now, but still, I think he might have a little bit of some extra cooling, seeing how he doesn't have the front clip there. Maybe a little bit of aero gain, seeing how he's got that nice punch there in the hood, as we see the battle going on between the 16 of Butler and the 21 of DeVries.
Yeah, and Elliott's got to be careful he doesn't drive it in too hard because he'll really burn up his front tires. So I think Jason's just let him do it. Thinking that Elliott's not thinking about it, because I know coming in really low like that, it really burns up that right front more.
Nope, there's one person on the track that I know that can handle a burnt up right front. I think it's that 16, as we've seen all night. He has just been able to stay down there, keep the power to it, and he's been maintaining pretty much the same pace behind the 21 all night. We saw it with several other cars. You can get up behind them. Most notably the 76. He was on Josh's bumper for about 10-15 laps. Finally, Josh just got out of the way and said, "You want it that bad? Take it." I think that's what Elliott's mentality is here with DeVries, but it's not going to shake out that way because Jason's not just going to hand over a position.
Well, right now, Jason and Elliott are running 2 to 3 tenths faster than the leaders. That time they were about the same because they were side by side in the corner, but previously they were 2 tenths quicker.
Looking right now at the gap from first to second, right at about 2.7 seconds with 39 laps to go here. We see the 21 high in the corner, which is going to allow the 16 of Butler to the inside, but a little bit of a bobble there coming off of turn 2. That's going to undo every bit of progress that he just made there, as now he's going to have to drive that car even harder to get back up to where he just was.
Yeah, I think at this point, Elliott's almost better off staying behind Jason until they, you know, either catch second or catch first, so they're not hurting each other for as far as speed-wise goes. I mean, they're running out of laps to catch them.
This is going to be interesting to watch here as the laps are unfolding right now. There's not really going to battle for first and second. Right now, I think it's going to be between third and fourth here, as once again, the 16 diving it in there low, and now Jason opting to run the high line and then moving down. So this is going to be interesting. Is there going to be a unintentional crossing of paths by the 16? Or who knows? We're just going to sit back and let this one unfold here.
Yeah, right now they're running 2 tenths quicker than Josh Jones in the 76.
Once again, Jason running the high line through 1 and 2. Elliott down low. Not going to be able to do it again.
Jason just gets a monster run off the turn.
You see the...
Sorry about that.
No, just looking at the gaps here and the lines being run, I think Jason has shifted his racing line now to the higher side. He's found the speed up there, especially with the way the tires have worn in. And right now, I think Butler, if he was smart, he would try and just mimic and mirror Jason's line for the time being. Because the more he keeps running down on that low line, the more he's going to eat those right sides off. And especially if, and I'm going to knock on wood as hard as I can, as long as we stay green flag to the end, I don't think he's going to have enough tires left to catch the 21 and make the pass.
No, not if he's... It all depends. If he's not getting out of it, you need that outside lane to get off the corner if you're going to run the bottom. So trying to make the pass on anybody that's on the outside, whether it's Jason or Robert or Josh or anybody, it's going to be pretty hard.
As we see now, the 21 and the 16 both starting to reel in the 76 here.
Yeah, the leader ran a 22.4 last lap.
Do a quick drop down here. Elliott Butler started in 6th position tonight. He has led 2 laps. He's currently sitting in 4th. His fast lap of 21.248 last time by. He ran a 22.435. So that right there shows you what running that bottom side will do.
Yep, yeah. And anyways, I'm going to go out and try and get one more lap in, and then I'll park it, and maybe I'll rejoin you.
Going for it. Get that lap in the position, and maybe we'll see you back in the booth.
All right, man, sounds good.
We see now the 21 of Jason DeVries is going to get within striking distance here of the 76 of Josh Jones, as it's down to 29 laps remaining here at Richmond International Raceway. Once again, we are live here with the Diehard Racing League's JMR Outdoors American Hero Hunt Cup Series. We see lap traffic playing a huge factor right now. The 76 is stuck behind the 6 of Rodney Kramer and the 95 of Caleb Finn. Now we see the 21 of Jason DeVries as he's going to go to the high side. Once again, the 16 of Elliott Butler trying to charge in on the low line. The same thing we've been seeing for about the past 20 laps is now Jason is going to switch up lines and go to the bottom side here, see what he can do to get around. As we see a little bit of a bobble out of the 76, that's going to allow Jason around Josh. So that'll move the 21 up to 2nd spot. Now the 16 of Elliott Butler, he's going to try and follow in the footsteps as we see the 95 of Caleb Finn. I don't know if that was contact or if he just got loose off the corner there, but the 95, good save there, as now the 76 is going to come under fire by the 16 of Elliott Butler. This will be the battle for 3rd spot going on now. So now Jason having a 2.9-second deficit to make up with 25 laps remaining. Let's see if he can mount the charges. Meanwhile, the 16 of Elliott Butler is still battling to the inside of the 76 as they barrel down the backstretch here. He's going to have it as they go into turn 3. I think once again that was a time to move by the 76 Josh Jones there. It's better just to go ahead and give the position rather than lose track position fighting to hold on to a spot, if that makes any sense. That's pretty much a strategy I would do. If somebody was battling me that hard on the inside, I'd go ahead and give them the spot and just hope that they go ahead and burn it up on there. As already we're seeing the deficit now between 1st and 2nd has been chopped off by 0.4 of a second. It's now down to 2.5 seconds. That time by the 21 was almost 0.2 of a second faster than our current race leader. So watch that interval to continue to keep dropping as we're going to be down to 22 laps to go as the leader crosses the line. Let's go ahead and look from the rear TV panel of the 75 machine as we can see once again the same picture we've seen all night. The 2 cars in focus, the 21 and the 16. So 200 laps at this 3/4 mile track, a long distance here, but very, very quick lap times. This race has gone by a lot faster than I thought it would. We're only about roughly an hour and 20 minutes in, and these guys are already down to be 20 to go this time by. As you can see, the gap is now down to a 2.1 second, so 9/10 have been shaved off pretty much. Once again now, the 16 of Elliott Butler looking to the inside of the 21. I don't know how the 16 has kept the right sides on that car. Right now, if that was me, I would be riding on rims by now, but somehow Elliot's still able to run that bottom groove strong, as right now he does have a little bit of an advantage over the 21, but Jason being able to get the run off the corner on that outside line, he's going to retain the position here.
That little battle there really helped the 75. 75 was able to gap him a little bit more, and that's not what the 21 and the 16 need to do right now.
No, they need to be nose to tail right now, as we see just a single blink there by the 21. The one thing that I'm highly impressed is it was 2.9 seconds. Guess what? Now it's down to 1.9.
Yeah, the 16 and the 21 are significantly faster right now than 75, but you also got to wonder, is the 75 pushing it? He knew he had over a 3-second gap. He might have just been playing duck and just taking his time.
And we have 17 laps to find out if Robert has just been playing with the field here, as it'll be 16 to go as they cross the stripe here. We are now in the home stretch here. Almost 10 laps to go. It's been, for the most part, I'd say a very respectable race here with only 2 cautions in the book so far, and hopefully that does not jinx things here, as we always love seeing a clean and green finish here. You can see the rotor glow there off of the 21 as he enters turn 3. But now we're starting to see the 21 picking up a little bit more speed as the gap has been brought down to a 1.4 seconds. You see the 44 of Aaron Corey on pit road. All right, with 13 to go at the line, we've got a 1.1 second gap now, stretched back out to a 1.2, but they are still reeling in the race leader here. Question is, are they going to have enough laps left by the time they get up there? The 21 and the 16 are both extremely strong here, and it's just going to come down to, can Jason get around the 75 of Robert Barris before we run out of laps?
Yeah, he's got you 2/10 a lap right now.
And now, once again, Elliott still opting to stay on that inside line. Definitely, like I said, I would be on more than rims now. I'd probably be on rotors if I was trying to run that line. But somehow the 16 has been able to do it all race long.
Yeah, he just keeps looking at that inside.
Once again, a huge dive to the inside here, but we all know we'll see it again. The Jason will get the run off the corner. This time they're going to be side by side in 3 and 4 as they come off once again. It looks like it might be heating up a little bit. Elliott might be giving it everything he's got now, as we're going to be into single-digit laps as the leader crosses the line next time by. As now the position has changed, but we see the crossover now in play by the 21.
Oh, this is awesome.
This is a little different seeing the 21 on the bottom and the 16 on top, but now this has brought us down to a 9/10 second gap here, so 9 laps to go, 7/10 of a second now, so this is going to be probably 2 battles in one. Is it going to be a battle between the 21 and the 16 against the 75, or is it going to be the 21 and the 75?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that really hurt the 21 and 16 from catching Robert. But if they stay in line for just a couple more laps, they'll be there battle for first and second instead of 3rd place.
See a little bit of contact there with the outside wall by the 16. Not enough to really slow him up, just enough for it to make the car do a little bit of hula hoop in there, but still able to maintain the speed there, as we are now down to 7 laps to go, and we are down to a 4/10 second gap, as it's going to continue to shrink here as the 21 and the 16 continuing to reel in tonight's race leader, the 75 of Robert Barris, with 172 of the 200 laps led so far, and now we're going to see if Robert can lead the most important one, being the last lap, as it'll be 5 laps to go next time by.
I noticed Jason kind of changed his line in the last couple of turns. He's running lower again just to kind of help keep Elliott there. But the question is, if Jason catches Robert, how patient is Elliott going to be with Jason for Jason getting by Robert?
I think we're going to see a typical short track finish. It's going to be every man for himself, and it might be 3 wide coming out of turn 3 on the last lap.
Yeah, I hear you there. If Elliott plays it out right, and lets the 21 get inside the 75 or on the outside, it should open the door for Elliott as well.
Well, I'm not usually a betting man, but I'm seeing the gap here now. It's pretty much gone. There is no gap. Jason has caught the race leader, and now it'll be 3 laps to go. This is going to be 2-on-1 here. Is the 16 going to commit with the 21, or are we going to see, as we see now, the 16 looking to the outside? He's going to try and trap the 21 down low, but that's not going to be the way to do it, as we see the 21 is going to file back in, right up on the back bumper of the 75. 16 looking to the inside, almost contact there on the backstretch. Great save by Jason.
Wow.
This one is probably going to be one of the most notable finishes. There's a bumper there by the 16.
That is good stuff.
Obviously, Butler not happy with that. He wants around the 21, and that right there is the international sign for, hey, get out of the way.
He's got to run.
As we see a little bit of looseness out of the 75, the pressure is now mounting. Oh, a little bit of contact. The 75 is loose. He's still trying to save that car. White flag is out. Jason has 1 more lap to go here. Can the 16 mount a final charge here?
This is good.
We saw the bump and run, but it was not the way you normally see it. It wasn't Jason on Robert. It was Robert down on Jason here. So as they come through the final corner, Jason is going to be able to hold off the 16 of Elliott Butler, and he's going to bring home the checkered flag here at Richmond. Elliott Butler in the 16 is going to finish second. The 75 of Robert Barris will be your 3rd place finisher. That was one heck of a finish. That
was crazy.
That was good old-fashioned short track racing right there.
Yeah, Robert was doomed, I think, those last couple laps anyways. I mean, it was common. Jason was catching him. And, you know, even if Robert hadn't got into him a little bit, I think that was awesome to watch.
All right, as we get our top 3 brought down into the holding tank, as we commonly refer to it here, we'll go ahead and get our interviews underway. Seth, if you want to go ahead and interview Robert here, seeing how you guys made a little contact during the start of the race. Mike, go ahead and bring in the 75, our 3rd place finisher.
You could do that one. He's my rival.
Nope, that's all on you.
Oh, Robert, I guess I'm doing the interview, but how was them last couple laps there?
They were not good. I don't know if I was using the tires up too much, but both those long runs with about 20 laps to go in the run, I just came back to the top 3, and I think with like 2 to go, I got real loose out of the exit of 2, and that let Jason get besides me, and then I tried to pinch him down to get a better run off, and it was tight there, and it just spent the rest of that straightaway just trying to get the car back together.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, I didn't mean to get in the back of you there when I did. I was gonna actually try the high side on you because you weren't letting me by on the bottom. So I figured I'd try the high side, and we bricked about the same time. But I ended up just getting into you a little bit, and I apologize for that.
That's all right. I mean, it's short track racing. It's gonna happen.
Overall, how were the rear tires on the car?
Checking the wear, the rears amazingly were not bad. I think they were maybe a little unbalanced. The first run I was tight, and I went to school a little bit once I let the Jason and I think Joshua may have gotten around me, and I just followed them for a couple laps to kind of get an idea what line they were running, and after I pitted, I tried to move my entry up a little bit, and that helped some, but it wasn't quite enough. So I guess I needed it to be the 197 laps at Richmond, but that's kind of my story here at this track. Lead a whole bunch of laps, and I think yet still get a win.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I got my fair share of tracks like that too. But anybody you want to thank tonight?
Just everybody here with the league, you guys who organized it, and Art and Mike, and everybody's putting the broadcast on. iRacing for giving us a platform to do this. My wife for having the patience for me to take a couple hours to do that. We got to in fact, we got to jump off here, and we got to take care of a sick cat. Needs some IV fluids, so I will I'll be checking out here.
All righty, man. Well, don't cut yourself short. Thank you for helping admin the league as well. I appreciate it. And thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week at Talladega.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was our third place finisher, the 75 of Robert Barris. Now we're going to bring in the 16 of Elliott Butler. All right, Elliott, heck of a run there. We saw you all night battling against the 21 of Jason DeVries. Tell me, how were you able to run the low line for so long?
Yeah, it seemed like as the tires wore out, the low line just kind of maintained speed. The right front would wear out a little quicker than the other guys, but the right rear would last a little longer, and it seemed to balance out. And it allowed me to get some positioning and make it a little easier to pass some guys, but apparently not the 21.
Well, we did see a great rebound as earlier on in the opening stages of the race, you were involved in that big wreck off of the backstretch there, which I believe started with a little bit of tightness off of the turn, and you were just trying to save the car, and unfortunately there was a lot of other cars in the same piece of real estate, and we all know how short tracks are. When there's a wreck and there's cars around, usually it gets log jammed. But an amazing rebound as you bring it home second. I think you were about the only one that we saw out of anybody on the track that was able to maintain that low line throughout the entire race. You got up there, you were side by side with Jason lap after lap. We saw the runs that you were getting against the 76 of Josh Jones, and honestly, we were almost expecting a 3-wide finish at the end there, but we did see the 75 get a little bit sideways there with 2 to go, which opened the door for the 21 and you to get by. And we also saw a little bit of maybe the chrome bumper there between you and the 21.
Yeah, I definitely laid it to him a few times. The first time I just kind of just was letting him know I was there, but there was one time going into 1 and 2 that when he cut down, he didn't give me any room. I had to put my left sides on the apron, and wasn't very happy about that, and let him know with a little nudge. But he was racing me clean pretty much all night, and it was a good battle, and he earned that one.
Well, congratulations tonight on the second place finish. Is there anybody out there that you would like to thank?
Yeah, you guys for broadcasting, American Hero Hunt for sponsoring the series. Everybody out there watching, make it a lot more fun to do this, put on a show for everybody every week. And all the guys that are racing the league week in, week out. I know it's hard to maintain the numbers over the course of the season, but I appreciate everybody dedicating their time to it.
Once again, congratulations on the second, and we will see you next week at Talladega Superspeedway, one of my favorite tracks to broadcast at.
Yeah, look forward to it, man. To see you there.
All right, that was our second place finisher. Now we are going to bring in the man himself, the 21 of Jason DeVries. All right, Jason, that was definitely one piece of driving there. How fun were those last couple laps there when Robert got sideways? Appears we might have a little bit of radio difficulties going on right now.
Nice. I seen him key up.
I'm here.
There we are. How were those last few laps there, Jason? We saw the 75 get a little bit sideways, and we knew that the 16 had given you the bumper a couple times there, but you brought it home finally in victory lane.
Yeah, it was a good run there at the end. I was just make sure that when the 16 and I converged on the apex out of two, that we gave each other room. He had some really good runs in the corner, and more often than not, when I wanted to turn down the corner, his nose was there. So I just wanted to make sure that we kept it clean, and we had a heck of a run those last 150 laps or so.
We definitely got off to a little bit of a chaotic start, but the same thing happened at Bristol. We had the incident happen early on in the race, and then we had a long green flag run, and the same thing carried over here tonight at Richmond. We saw in the beginning that this was a one groove track, and then as the run progressed, we saw the upper grooves start to wear in, and the first person that we saw running up there was you, and then we were watching your line and comparing that to other drivers who were maintaining right down there on the yellow, whereas you would let it drift up to about middle lane, diamond down the corner, and then come off. And then that was what we saw was the most notable in keeping the 16 at bay, as he would dive it in lap after lap after lap. You'd be able to get the run off at the corner, and honestly, I think that right there was probably about the most impressive piece of driving that we saw all night.
Yeah, I just tried to keep the right rear pretty cooled off. I didn't want to make it too angry in corner exits, so I tried to straighten off the corner exits as much as I could. And most of the work I did in two was just so I could get off of four okay. And it seemed to pay off there at the end. I was getting a better run off the corners than most of the other cars. I just had to be responsible on corner entry because I was sacrificing quite a bit. And if you leave enough of a door open, you're just asking for it, and it's your own fault when that happens. So it was more, I was trying to save the car so I could get good off the corner, but I had to look in the mirror at the same time to make sure I didn't do anything too dumb.
Well, obviously, you made all the right moves. You led 13 laps tonight, including the most important one, which brought home the W here at Richmond. Now, I know next week is when we move on to Talladega, and I know from all the times you've told me to get out of the hosted races at the plate races. What's your take on next week when we go to Dega?
All right, I'm going to be honest. If we're talking this time next week, I think everyone needs to go out and get some lottery tickets.
Definitely some good advice. But you brought it home in Victory Lane. Is there anybody out there that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd love to thank everyone that puts this on. JMR Outdoors, American Hero Hunt, Seth for putting in all the countless hours that we don't see to make this league what it is today. You guys for broadcasting every single week. And most importantly, everyone that shows up every week driving a series and putting on a clean race. There's not many places out there on iRacing where you can count on having clean races week after week. We just did 150 laps without a caution. So this goes for everyone else on iRacing. If this is something that you want to do, come join, because you're very, very unlikely going to find in other places.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations on the win. I will make sure that I have my lottery ticket in place when we go to Dega next week. And hopefully we will be interviewing you back to back again here in Victory Lane. But we all know plate racing is anybody's game, especially when it comes to the draft, and knowing how iRacing has changed the way that these Monster Energy Cup cars draft, and the upper lane is pretty much almost dead now.
Well, I know a Ford that I'm going to be working with.
And who would that be?
Maybe the 21, if you'll take me.
Sounds like a prom date.
Wow. Only for one night.
So one night stand.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. All right, with that out of the way, that's going to get us into tonight's results. Obviously, coming home with the win, the 21 of Jason DeVries. Coming home second, the 16 of Elliott Butler. The 75 of Robert Barris is going to bring it home third. The 76 of Joshua Jones will be our fourth place finisher. The 20 of Brian Den is going to bring it home in fifth. The 28 of Adam Nowinski will be your sixth place finisher. Coming home seventh will be Reese Spence Robb in the 27. The 95 of Caleb Finn will bring it home eighth. The 96 of Josh Gallagher will be your ninth place finisher. And the 44 of Aaron Corey will round out the top 10. Rodney Kramer in the 6th is going to bring it home 11th. 12th goes to the 56 of Christian DeBoer. Seth, you're going to bring it home 13th. Look at the bright side. You were only down 123 laps. 14th goes to the 66 of Andrew Hill. Ryan Nolan in the 97. 15th Eric Mickey in the 99 16th, and then Corey Brown in the 23 17th, Paul Williams 18th, and Joshua Stewart 19th. Both of those did not start the race tonight. So, guys, any final words before we put this one in the books and move on to Dega?
I just got to say that I thank all these guys that run in the league with us. I mean, yeah, I may, try to make rules and promote good racing, but it's the league drivers that put on a good show week in and week out, and I can't thank them enough for coming and doing the job that they do. So, hats off to them.
Mike, any final words? All right, apparently Mike is AWOL right now. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. Hope you guys all enjoyed the show. We want to thank everybody on iRacing Live, everybody who tuned in, everybody at JMR Outdoors, Diehard Racing League, and for us here at Diehard Live TV. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you live on the iRacing portal next week, same time, 7:15 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we take on Talladega Superspeedway. And as always, you can catch us at 7:55 p.m. Saturdays as we go live with the Cyber Racing Association's Homes Now Not Later Superspeedway Series, where after the second and final race at Monza last night in the K&Ns, if you guys tuned in for that one, that was one heck of a show and an amazing finish. We will be back stateside at, I do believe, Talladega as well, so it'll be a double Talladega weekend. Make sure you guys tune in for that. But once again, I want to thank you guys all for watching, and we will see you guys next time.